roulette game, because if everything's going well and everything's going, we're just talking about HVAC or little repairs, we're great. But if something major happens, like, we've had little incidents where something gets hit or a gate breaks, and next thing you know, the gate needs a new controller. All of a sudden, this little gate could go to $25,000. And that's, a fifth of our budget. And it was already one incident. Put it all above the line.
Thank you. That makes sense. Thanks for the clarification.
Not a problem.
Anything further? All right, very good. I think that completes your evening, Mr. Wallen. Thank you.
Actually, I have capital.
Oh, that's correct. Thank you. Let's finish you off so you can head home, or maybe you are home. I can't see anything, so.
Oh, no, this is not my home. So do you want to jump into capital?
Yep, let me just bring on the screen and then we'll go into capital.
I have more presentations for capital.
Oh, very good. Then continue, please.
All right. So for our capital projects, this is just an intro. So what we have is basically 3 levels of capital projects. The first level of capital projects I'm showing are our federal aid capital projects that we're looking to have. So as you see up on the top, the percentage signs made it look crazy, but these are typically projects where it's 80% federal dollars reimbursed, 15% state, and 5%. Now, I couldn't get into, I didn't want to confuse everybody with everything, but like Bridge New York is actually 95% of our money back on these projects. So they're great investments for the city. So we have construction next year of potentially 5 federal aid projects. That is a yeoman's task for municipal application, and we're looking to go from Weaver, which is down closer to the social services national grid, all the way up the hill to 4th. This is going to include replacing the rectangular flashing beacon at the social services building and the that is going to have intersection improvements, safety improvements. Possibly I have to go out there and look. I know we've improved the lighting out there, but that is a highway safety program. That's a separate pot, but that's another great program. Last year we were awarded a Bridge New York program for Francis Avenue over I-890. That is a deck replacement. The deck on that bridge is atrocious. It's one of the biggest problems we have from a maintenance standpoint. If you were to talk with our streets department, it's terrible. It is, the concrete must have had an issue in it over the years, and it's just kind of breaking apart. So under this project, we have $3 million to take the bridge in its entirety apart, take everything off, the pans, the concrete, put it all back, new sidewalks, new fencing. We're adding lighting to increase the lighting on the bridge, and we're going to have essentially a new bridge. Then we get into the tip for the Kings Road Bridge. I wish I had a better schedule for this. I'd like to do the project next year, but we are in conversations with Amtrak. You guys did that agreement to get them moving on it a couple of sessions ago. So we are working with them on that, but they have a lot of work to do with reviewing it. But that is a brand new bridge with a sidewalk, with bike lanes. So that's going to be a great project, but it may be pushed to 2022. I just have to find out what's going on with Amtrak in the future. Then we have a Psap project, which is downtown signals and street improvements. That is around City Hall, the improvements of some of the signals that you walk by quite a bit. You'll notice that they do not have pedestrian push buttons and heads, kind of similar to what you would see on Erie Boulevard and State Street. So we'd like to bring that up. In addition, street improvements. This is a cooperation project with Metroplex, where they're looking to put some money in so that we can do some two-way J Street in front of the post office and possibly some work in front of City Hall. but now there's the DRI that's out there. So that is a wrinkle. It's a good wrinkle. It's just a wrinkle because there's actually money for that in the DRI as well. So it may be we're focused on J Street in front of the post office and the signals. And then last but not least is another older project that is finally going to come out, which is intersection improvement at Rosa, not Wendell. New signal, hopefully a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier to understand, no more bag signal heads. And, you know, trying to get the crosswalks and the crossing shorter. I believe we're going to extend the island on Wendell and try to clean up that intersection. So all of these projects, 5 to go, and then possibly the 6th, are slated for next year for construction. So I'll open it up to any questions on these particularly 6 projects.
Mr. Palmini?
Go ahead.
So, Mr. Wallen, the Kings Road bridge replacement, I believe that, weren't we supposed to start that this year? And now you're saying it may not even get started next year?
We were really hoping to start it next year in the spring. I am going to work with Amtrak as best. The problem is the reason that the timing on this is so, I don't want to say important, is that we want to start it like March. And the reason being is it's a bridge replacement. It's not a deck replacement. It's going to take a long time. It's one of those things where if I can't get the necessary approvals from the state and Amtrak by March, then if I were to do it in June, we risk the bridge being closed unnecessarily through the winter. So people would see no work being done and the bridge is closed. And since the bridge isn't in the condition of Oak Street where it is closed, you know, we were talking with the people about our consultant and with the state about, you know, it's a better bet for the motoring public to leave it open and not close, like, because if I have to close the bridge for December, January, February, and those 3 months, and no work's going on because of temperatures, I feel like we're just going to get killed in the paper and killed by the people saying, great, you started a project that you couldn't finish and you're just sitting there. So that's what we're really trying to avoid.
So are we in jeopardy of losing any of the money that's been allocated? You don't want to have the bridge closed over the winter months, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, the reason being is that this is similar to Oak Street. It's similar to there was a state bridge. You know, once you know the DOT knows that we're proceeding in good faith. The DOT knows that this is a viable project. I mean, we have design approval. I've signed off on it. We have our agreements with Amtrak. We just don't have sign off from Amtrak. So I mean, we don't have to get in details. I can get into details with you on another level, but this project has actually been, I mean, we haven't been working on the design of this project for months. This project is as far as we can take it without the approvals of Amtrak.
Okay.
And the DOT is aware of how big of a hindrance they can be. So they're not about to take away funding because of them.
Okay. For the downtown improvement for the pedestrian safety. How much do you know what the DRI?
I don't know the number. I believe it's kind of in a pot. I don't know if the mayor can speak of that as he was on the committee, but Jamie is looking at how to break all that out. But I know that we just met today to talk about some other projects, and he said that was part of the downtown pot in the DRI.
Okay, I was just curious how much it'd be great to get that in the DRI, just so that we could maybe reallocate some funding elsewhere. Thank you.
Any other questions on these projects? All right, I do believe that completes your evening, Mr. Wallen.
Mr. Palmini, I have a question from yesterday.
Go ahead.
Follow from yesterday. Mr. Wallen, yesterday we were discussing the police department fire suppression system.
Hold on one second. Mr. Mudavaren? John mistakenly ended my night, but I have more slides.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Chris, I
So
thought
John,
you were.
I think you're underestimating how busy engineering is. These are the federal aid capital projects. Now we have state aid capital projects. So this is a whole other list. And then after this, I got a whole other list. So on this list, we have the police department firing range. We have the city hall exterior lighting improvements, which was a complementary project to what was on the clock tower. We have the commissioning of a statue of Dr. Elizabeth Gillette. There's Van Branken traffic signal improvements. We have fire department training facility improvements. We have Central Park greenhouse improvements. We have Woodlawn Preserve tree maintenance and removal improvements. And we have Crane and Main Street intersection improvements. So all of these projects, we have state or SAM money allocated through our generous New York State Assemblyman. And all of these projects are going to be ready to go at some point next year. I'm not going to say that they're all at the same level. For instance, the firing range, Van Branken traffic, fire department training, and Crane and Main Street. Those all have what we call grant disbursement agreements signed and ready to go, which means that we're authorized at any time given staffing levels. However, City Hall, the statue, and the greenhouse and Woodlawn Preserve, those are all still in the process with DASNY. So now we're going to have them all ready to go by next year. They're 100% reimbursed for what they give us, but there is shitty shares for each one. So we have that. And then I will just jump to the next one just so to make sure I get everybody in. And then we have locally funded, which is our paving program. If you look in the capital, I believe you'll see that the paving program request is a little bit lighter than normal. I just want to confirm that. I talked with Anthony about it, and yeah, here it is. So it's 350,000. The reason being is we get CHIPS allocations every year from New York State. This year, due to COVID, we did not get our CHIPS allocations very late in the year, and we were not able to put out a program, and we will get another CHIPS allocation next year. So given those both allocations with some of the other funding, we will have enough money for a substantial paving program next year. And I did not want to bond the same amount of money that we usually do just because we usually do. So I talked with both Paul and Anthony, and they agreed that given the surplus of state funds that we have to use, it would be prudent to this year reduce our request for paying to that 350 number, which will help us do certain things that the state money can't do, and put the program out. You also have the funding for facility improvements. That's the training facility, the fire departments, some work at Music Haven, and then some miscellaneous improvements that if we need them, we have the money to do that. And then Mr. Mudavaren, you asked about the police station fire suppression system replacement. This is a relatively small project, but it's necessary. We have a server room that is critical infrastructure at the police station. The server room has a Halon fire suppression system installed. Halon has not been installed in, I believe, 10 years or more. It is a system that we cannot get serviced anymore. I do not believe it is a dependable system of right now. We have it inspected, but if anything were to go, it is not a system that is serviceable. So we want to replace it with a modern system that can be inspected and relied upon. It is only for the server room and possibly our, I call it our camera room. It's an adjacent room, but it's not for the entire police station. It is for two specific areas.
Any other questions?
Now I'm done, John.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I don't hear any, so now you can enjoy your evening. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, everybody.
All All right, so we will take this back. And very good. Share the screen.
Where are we?
So we are now moving to service administration, which is page 37 in your budget.
Oh, boy.
Service administration or streets. Again, this is a very tight budget. I had only one, I believe, one question that came to me on A5110, 455 regarding the decrease in road materials. 455. Going from 140 to 120. And on our expenditures throughout the year, comfortable that the road materials are for, you know, some of the topsoil, different things we use, concrete mix or blacktop. And I'm very comfortable with the number, reducing it by $20,000.
Is there any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Palomini, I have similar questions for, in terms of the standby pay, which is 5010115, and also the stipend 136. Are these similar to what Mr. Wallen said, placeholders, or are these assigned to individuals that are currently in positions?
The A5110-115 standby pay, there's nothing there.
I think it's 50115.
It's
What?
5010.
Well, okay, well, we're on, yeah, 51, okay, 5010.
Oh, okay. If you're not there yet, that's fine. I can wait.
I'm sorry.
I can wait.
Standby pay is for the
Two crew leaders.
one employee, or the two employees, I'm sorry, that are on standby, the crew leaders. That is contractual.
Okay.
Standby pay is a contractual obligation within the bargaining unit.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Okay, very good. We will move on to mechanical equipment, which is page 39.
I had no questions come up. If anybody has a question, the elimination of the assistant fleet manager, I know we did put it in. It was removed. It's been vacant. It'll remain vacant through 21. There is a welder fabricator. It is our intention to eliminate 2 positions there and have a single welder fabricator.
Are there any questions on this?
Yep, Mr. Palmini, please.
Go ahead, Mr.
So,
Coach.
what are the job duties of the welder fabricator? And is this one individual going to be handling the jobs of 3?
No, they're currently, it's a little confusing. Mechanic welders, okay? And that was the title, but mechanic welder was never an approved job description up until this year. The mechanic welder positions will be eliminated in the welder fabricator, who actually is a qualified welder, went to welding school, who's currently there, will maintain that position, but we had to do a job description to satisfy civil service as a welder fabricator.
Okay. Yep, very good, thank you.
All right. Hearing nothing further, we will move on to parks and pools, which is page 43 through 45. for A7115 and A7125 and A7310. Are we planning for the pools to be closed? What about summer youth employment? And can CDBG be used for this?
Okay, the answer to that question is the funds for the pools, the operation pools have all been put in place with regards to chemicals, electrical, heating. The line item for the operational pools, which is usually a contract with fees for services with the YWCA, has been left blank. It's the,
We're planning to use the CDBG money for that. through
and
Boyd.
I'm confident that we can. I think I did speak to Anthony. CDBG funds can be used for that. If those funds can be used, we could put that in through CDBG to get the lifeguards through the contractor of YWCA. But again, it's up to the council and really what's going on with COVID, what happens for next year. If the pools want to be opened, that's a decision that the council can make. But the chemicals, the electrical, everything is in there, and CDBG funds could be used if we have to fund the lifeguards there.
Yeah, Mr. Palmetti?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Paul, if I just need to correct you, it's with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Schenectady are doing the lifeguards,
That is correct.
and not the YM. The YM is doing.
That's correct, Mr. Kosher.
I'm sorry?
That's correct.
Oh, well, I gotta mark that down. The mayor said I did something correct. Thank you, sir. Let that be
apologize.
reflected in the minutes.
Oh, it is the year 2020, Mr. Kosher.
There you go. I'm doing good. So, and again, Mr. Mayor, you're both online too. Obviously, we're eliminating the park attendants for the pavilion. The boats there, all our seasonal recreational leaders and everything, plus summer youth employment. Is there any way that we could reinstate the summer youth employment at the 40,000 and hire those teens to work the boats and the park attendants, and that's seasonal? So we're not taking that big loss there, but again, yet we can still hire those youth, and again, maybe put that 40,000 through CDBG as we have done in the past.
The
I'm
plan,
looking at those, and again, it'll depend. I'm still looking for some federal assistance and how the progression of COVID-19 goes into next summer. You know, hopefully we're going to be through this and we'll go back to some level of normalcy. Absent that, then we may have to, again, be in a more restrictive mode when we get to next May or June.
Right, and I agree with that, but I still, and again, I'm urging my council to really take a hard look at the summer youth employment piece, whether we fund it through CBG or whatever. But again, our teens still need to work, and they really do rely on the income. Many of our families are looking for that, and of course, it gives them great job skills as well. So, however, my colleagues on the council can look to restore at least that line item, however way we can. I would certainly appreciate that support. Thank you.
we were either CDBG, or we thought that'd be a great thing for the county to kick in.
The county has already approved their budget yet last night, believe it or not. I don't think anybody was there from either newspaper, but their budget was passed unanimously, 15-0 last night.
Well, maybe if we can get a connection over there to maybe help us out.
The mayor has a good connection.
Mr. Palmini?
Go ahead.
So I also want to support what Mr. Kosher is saying regarding the summer youth program. If CDBG seems the way that we seems to be the catch-all for a lot of things when if it can be covered in that category. But I really would like us to agree. I would agree with that. We should look at how we could employ some youth next summer. It's for all the reasons that Mr. Kosher said, and additionally, I don't see us, which is hopefully developing maybe future employees for the city. So, if we can find 40,000, I'm sure we can. to reinstate that position. And hopefully we will be out of COVID, or at least at a point where summer employment can happen. So I definitely support reinstating that 40,000 into this budget.
All right, moving on to Waste Administration, page 48 through 50.
Three to two, and that was through a retirement. One of our labor loaders did retire, and we won't be filling the labor loader position or backfilling that position. The MEOMs, which is our drivers, our Nemore City workers, whether they're in the waste department or street department or parks, which is the MEOM, there is a reduction from 19 to 15.
16.
We currently have 5 open positions. We have 11 filled right now, and what we do is typically out of those open positions, that's where we fund some of our seasonal waste people to come in. So the funding for the seasonal waste is taken out of the 8161-121 per diem salary overtime. So we currently have 11 positions filled, and the 5 positions that are open is how we fund some of the seasonals there.
Any questions on this before we move to the next category? All right, the waste disposal and waste recycling.
Nothing's really changed in the waste disposal. If you look at the budget, it's pretty much the same as last year. Station at $1.3 million. That's based on the tonnage that we bring through the transfer station. The waste recycling in the 8163, there is a reduction from 18 to 14 MEOs. We currently have 12 positions filled, and as we do from the waste collection, 2 positions are used to fund some of the seasonal employees there.
Just a quick question. Is the new federal guidelines going to impact us at all with the budget? Do you happen to know?
For recycling?
Yeah.
I don't believe so. I mean, we all know that recycling now is a problem. Up until 2019, we did not pay for disposal of recyclables. We do pay, in our contract, it did go up slightly based on CPIU, so it's slightly over $60 a ton. Excuse me, which is roughly $18 more than what we pay for our waste. Where that's going to go, it's really dependent on the long-term options. We know China's not taking recyclables anymore. So I think in the future, recyclables will become a problem more and more for every community on the reuse of that recyclable material and where it's going. It's more difficult and more costly for us now to remove recyclables than it is our actual trash.
It is a problem. All right, I think the last category for you, Mr. LaFond, is the snow, which is page 40.
It's not coming this year.
What's that?
It's not coming this year.
Let's hope. I hope you're right.
I highly doubt that.
It's snow and ice. The 2 areas that were reduction was if you look at the 5142, the per diem overtime has been reduced slightly by $5,000, and that's all in the support services. Our salt, there was a little bit better pricing, so we did drop that by $50,000, and we do have some, our barn is full right now, so we're going into the year with a pretty much full supply of salt.
Any questions? All right, very good. Thank you, Mr. LaFond.
Thank you.
Mr. Palomini, I have one general question for Mr. LaFond.
Sure.
LaFont, a general question for you. I'm looking at the overall OGS proposed budget. Other than staffing line, had you had a chance to take a second look at the other lines then for any additional reduction that can help to maintain the current staffing?
I've gone through this budget, obviously Nancy can attest to this, probably around 9 times, try and figure everything we can. And this is a budget that, you know, in years past, we've all put a little redundancy or a little fluff in our budgets. This is a very tight budget this year because we're facing very tough challenges going into 21. You know, and, you know, what we would be looking for is, it's so minute, you know, $1,000 here or there, I don't think is going to amount to anything. I went through this budget again this afternoon, met with Anthony, and it's very difficult to take any more out of here. And, you know, provide the services that we need to provide going into 21, which is, you know, snow removal. We don't know what that's going to bring. You know, another snowfall like we had, you know, December 2nd of, you know, 19 would be devastating. We made some assumptions in this budget with salt, a little bit lower price. We have a full barn right now, but we have a lot of unknowns. And I wish I could say that I could, you know, find some funding here to, you know, make some improvements with, you know, with staffing. But I looked at it again this afternoon.
Palameni,
Go ahead.
I have to say, so like deeply disturbing to me that I can't even, I'm speechless. I'm just absolutely speechless. But I'm glad.
I'll put a little fluff in our budget here and there to cover some
I'm
costs.
glad to know that this is a really a stripped down budget. I'm sure the public is thrilled with that comment.
I mean, and follow up on the comment, on the question and your answer. I mean, your department, I mean, looking at it overall, it's taking a huge hit in terms of reduction, and the amount of surveys that is coming out from each of the department. It's troubling. If we were to approve this budget as is, this is troubling for our city.
And where would you say we try and get some of the extra money? I know it is a big budget in the OGS department. I'm all for trying to find some more funds, and how do we find them?
So I'd put in perspective, the total the total OGS budget, including code enforcement, was reduced by 15.6%. Over $2 million. Actually, 1.9 million.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. LaFond. All right, we will move now to the rest of the capital budget, which is at the end of your budget packet. See if I can get to the right page here. All right, Mr. Ferrari.
Paul, you still on?
I am.
Yep. As you can see, under general parks, waste and property, these are actually the requests that they made back in 2020, which they're asking again. We decided to wait for the Packers until 2022. Only because it took so long to get the ones that we ordered last year. We just got them in the last about a month or two ago. So we says, you know, since we just got them in, we're going to hold off until 22 on that. So they're looking for a 6-wheel dump truck for the parks and one for the property management. Any questions on that? No? Then we go to the garage. this is what they're looking for is a service truck with a crane. Paul, right? That's to pick up the big trucks when they break down?
Yeah, that's our service vehicle when there's a truck broke on the road. It does have a crane on it, so we can go out. It was requested in 19 for the 20 budget, so we're just re-requesting it in 20 for the 21 budget.
And the one we have now, is it operational at all? The one we have now, it's pretty old.
It is, yes, it's over 10 years old. It still has the old drum brakes in it. Doesn't have air assist brakes. So yes, it is an older. It's a 2000. So it's going on 20 years.
Yep. So that's why we're requesting that. On the street side, we have the Blacktop Rollers. That is Paul. That's not the very large one, but it's like the medium-sized roller. I'm
Medium-sized roller. This year we did a couple of streets within the street department, Abbotsford Road and up by Grau Park School. So this would replace one of our little rollers. It's a medium-sized roller to continue to do potholes and smaller street cuts that we do.
You have the John Deere with the snowblower attachment. You want to explain that?
Yeah, again, in these items, were requested in 19 for 20, but so we're just re-requesting them. But the John Deere loader with the front end snowblower attachment to do a lot of the snowblown areas that we get when we do get a storm. The snowblower will go along the curb line. They were used, during the big storm by the assistance we had from outside resources. So we were requesting one for our use. The city used to have snow goes years ago. These attachments on the front end of these loaders replaced the old type of snow goes. It'll just blow the snow right up onto the curb line or into a truck for us. So it'll do a lot of the streets that have islands that are tight, where we can bolt right on the island, and a lot of the windblown areas where we put snow fence up, along McCullen Street by the school and Lennox Road by Kaleberg. So, and obviously when it's not being used as a snow blower, it's used as a normal front end loader.
What you got, the global street sweeper?
Yes, we have. We got 2 street sweepers about 6 years ago. The other 2 are, I think, Anthony, I told you they were 2006s, I believe. So this would replace one of the oldest ones, new global street sweeper.
And the pickup truck?
A pickup truck with a plow. We have a number of trucks that are just, reached the end of their useful life, well over 10 years old. So another new F-350 with a, with a 4-way blade that will work during the winter and also work all year for us.
Should we go right to the water fund?
Sure.
Can I ask a question first?
I have a question too.
Ms. Zaluski, Walzunas, then Ms. Patrick.
So, Paul, the truck for 180, the one that, the service truck with a crane, how often does that get used?
I guess used quite a bit. If, we have a number of trucks out on the road every day. And when our garbage truck or our packers break down or a dump truck, that's the service truck that our mechanics, we have 3 mechanics in the garage that take out to service that vehicle. And it gets used quite a bit.
Especially in the winter time, when the trucks are plowing, they hit things or whatever.
Right, we use the wing blades or plow. If that truck is damaged or that plow is down, we have to use that crane truck to go out and lift that blade up and get it supported so we can bring it back into the garage for repair. And that's why it has a crane mounted on the back.
So I have a question, and I don't know if you can answer this or not. If this was to not be serviced, till, if you didn't have this in service, how much would it cost to get another company to come in and do take care of it, lift it up, do whatever they need to do? Do you have any idea?
No, it really would depend on how long we want to wait for a tow truck to come help us.
Yeah, but you
And
can't just get a regular tow truck. It's got to be one of those great big trucks, right? You can't just get a regular
Yeah.
tow truck.
Yeah, this truck comes, when it comes with a crane, also comes with a, you know, a generator on it, to start trucks. It's a service vehicle.
Right. To call an outside company. I want to know what an outside company would charge us to, you know, get this truck and tow it to the
I can
garage.
get a number tomorrow and email it to you. I
All
can,
right, yeah, I would appreciate that. Just, and then if you can give me an idea of, you know, I don't know if you have a quick way of calculating how often this truck is out and used. Just give me some, you know, raw data on that. I would appreciate it.
sure.
Great, thank you.
Ms. Patrick?
Hi, Mr. LaFawn, this could be because I'm new also, but on these items, such as that service truck and then the 4 items below, the Blacktop Rollers, John Deere, am I right that you requested them last year, but you didn't get them?
Correct. We requested them in 19, but we did not bond any money for 20 to purchase this equipment. So.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. And then my second question, also from my newness, I think, is the Foster Ave remediation. Why is that not happening?
But
We're putting it on hold.
yeah, we wanted to put on hold.
You took that whole $700,000 out.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Huh.
But, well, yeah.
That's,
I just wanted to put it there. We always remember that we have to look at.
how
You know, I
many
don't wanna-
years has it been put on hold? Like, was it put on hold last year also, or?
Last year we were talking about it. This year we put it on hold.
Okay.
Also, Mr. LaFawn, regarding the crane, does the county have this type of vehicle? Is there somehow we could partner with them to be able to get them to do that in terms of the crane?
We could try and partner with them, and we can look at outsourcing that. And again, it's really, when we have a snowstorm or we have anybody working, our mechanics are available in our shop, whether it's third shift or first shift when we break shifts in the winter. In the middle of a storm, it's just the ability for us to go out and address our down equipment right away, rather than calling in a larger wrecker and, waiting until they can get to us. Usually in a snowstorm or other times, but I can look at it first. I can see,
Regards to the cost for the vehicles that that the Blacktop Rollers, et cetera. I noticed it's the same cost this year as last year. There's been no price increase at all in any of these items.
We buy these items on state contract.
So that means the answer is no increase.
No, we buy them on state contract. So state contracts are pretty much consistent every year. This is our estimate what they would cost us again this year.
All right, Mr. Ferrari, let's go to the water and sewer funds.
$750,000 for distribution system repairs and improvements for the water. We are starting to look. Last year we did put some money, in the budget for well improvements. We want to continue that this year. This money is to help with that. We're looking to do at least 2 new wells, actually put in 2 wells at the well field. The current wells are 70 years old. There are 12 original wells. 2 are not usable. We have 10 And we are starting to see a reduction in the output of those wells just because of their age. So we do have a study currently undergoing with an engineering firm to look at the best place to develop the new wells on our property down there. So this would help with that, and also any other improvements we have in our distribution system. As you're well aware, we had a big water main break a few weeks ago by 890. You know, this is will help us on some of those repairs, having it.
Am I available to put something on the screen for you guys?
Yeah, just a second. I will give you the controls. I just have to find you. Should be able to do it now, Anthony.
Okay, share. Yeah, that's not allowing me to share content yet. Yeah, it didn't pop up.
Just a second. Maybe I didn't.
What I show is an analysis of the okay, Cisco events. Still nothing. I want to show analysis of the water and sewer fund balance. And as you know, in the past 3-4 years, this will be the 4th year, I believe, we have not been borrowing any money through any fiscal advisors or any banks. We've been using our own. There we go.
Sorry, you're on the screen.
Water fund and our sewer fund. Our type capital reserve for the water fund, that's what we use to, instead of borrowing money, we use our type capital. And as you see at 12/31/2019, we had a $6.3 million. And what I'm showing on the side here is in 2019, we had set aside 100,000 for the GIS, 100,000 for clearing, and 500,000 for a water truck. In 2020, we had the water wells at 2.5 million, car, a truck, and the 750,000 for a water project. And then in 2021, we're looking for another 750,000. So I just want to let you know that the capital reserve is going to go from 6.3 million to 1.5 million. I just want you guys to be aware of that. And what I'll do. 2019, you know, we want to borrow 500,000, and then 2020 we had the truck. We have these 665,000, and in 2021. Paul, did you explain to him the 2.3 million for 2021?
And the 2.3 million is, you know, and we make it generic with regards to the sewer system repair, and it also includes the wastewater treatment plant. We bring in a lot of outside waste and septic, which generates revenue for the digesters that we use at the wastewater treatment plant, and we have to look to improve the digester capacity. And what that means is we have to convert the holding tank to an active digest so that we can process this outside waste we're bringing in. We bring in a fair amount of revenue through that wastewater treatment plant, and this will continue to allow us to do that and actually bring in more outside septic and waste and generate even future revenue.
Are there any questions on this? All right, very good. I believe the last item is the smart cities.
The smart cities, that is, you know, the completion of the project. I believe, John Cluccio, are you on? I don't know if John's here. I wish he was here. I think John's.
He's on phone. Let me see if I can figure out which one he is, and I will unmute him. Just a second, please. Let's see. John, are you on still? There's a call-in user 4. I thought maybe it was him. He must not be on anymore. Sorry, Anthony.
Again, that's, the completion of the Smart City project, I believe. Not the completion, but the completion of the groundwork, the completion of putting everything all together. And the second part, the truck and lift maintenance vehicle is for the what do you call those guys? That is over there. I know John's going to be here at the next meeting. He can explain that better.
Okay, are there any questions in the meantime?
Ferrari can answer this. And it was in terms of the truck that is being suggested that we purchase, and how many employees, are using this, how many employees. I know that we currently have a truck. I'd like to know how many we have, if there's more than one. And is any of this work outsourced to and used another vendor that comes in to help put those lights up?
And the signals, we do have an old truck, but we have a truck. It's older. It's an older truck, and we're really thinking it's for the safety of the gentlemen that use it, especially for the lighting and signal controls. Can we outsource it? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we could lease it. I don't know how much that would cost. I have to take a look at that.
Those individual service traffic lights, on a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week basis to make sure they're in place and operational. So I don't see a scenario where there's going to be any savings by looking at outsourcing it. And that truck that's being replaced is one that is, it's an old truck. John will give you the actual time and how long it's been in service, but it's been in for repairs, and it has locked up a couple times when it's been in service now. And again, this was part of just the normal rotation of equipment that you have to do to provide basic services.
Thank you, Mayor. And I just want to clarify, I didn't say, can we outsource? I said, do we outsource? I was wondering if any of that is outsourced currently. And so there's only one truck currently, Mayor? We just have the one, and we just want to replace that one?
We've got a number of trucks, but it's one lift truck, and that has the platform on it that will raise or lower so that they can get up to street lights, traffic lights, things that are up in the air.
Are there any other questions? We'll revisit this on Tuesday when Mr. Coluccio is on. All right, very good. So our next meeting will be on the, the 20th. I will ask my colleagues on the council to send their questions so they can be sent to the department heads by October 18th. So please do that. And I think I asked you to keep October 21st open. I think we will utilize that day to talk about changes to the budget that you might have. All right, can I have a motion to recess?
So move.
Is there a second? All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
And that
Have a good
concludes our
evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.